A flower in a field, beautiful in the rising sun. But why is it beautiful? What makes the flower beautiful? Is it color? What is that? Do others see the same colors as do I? Is it shape, or smell, or order? What is beauty anyway? Is it in the flower? Or is it something in me? Do I have to be brought to see beauty? Or is it a natural, inherent reaction to certain things? Is beauty a constant? Or is it in the eye of the beholder? Why do some people find some things beautiful and others find other things beautiful? Is beauty a certain pattern or order? Or is it the recognition of a pattern? Or the imposition of a pattern? What is the opposite of beauty? Ugliness? Destruction? Chaos? Nothingness? Is this flower different from that flower? What makes the flower different from another? Or from a tree? Or bird? Or me? Is there a universal flowerness which helps me discern what is and is not a paragon of flower? In what way is this universal related to this particular flower? Is the universal idea of flower real? Or have I merely made it up? Is there a pattern or structure to the flower? Is this pattern mathematical? Am I part of the same pattern? If all is patterned, can the flower choose to be other than what it is? Can I choose? Or am I, like the flower, fated to be what the pattern dictates I become? What is the life that flows through the flower? What force through the green fuse drives the flower? What is life? Movement? The flower doesn't seem to move. Can life be relegated to a checklist? What if life is greater than what I can conceive? Is there life beyond this physical world? This flower is passing away, but can there be a flower that lasts eternally? Will I too suffer death and cease to be? All these questions indicate a certain sense of wonder, what the Greeks called Thauma, wonder. It was this sense that was the basis not only of education but of life. Aristotle declared that all philosophy begins with wonder. The love, philos, of wisdom, sophos, begins with this questioning state of existence. Plato did him one better by stating that the unexamined life is not worth living. In other words, this questioning state of existence, this sense of wonder, is what makes human life human. Beasts do not wonder at things, but it is in the very nature of the rational human soul to question, to inquire into, historia in Greek, the nature of our time on earth. If we do not engage in such wonder, Plato suggests, we are living a merely animal existence. In the Republic, Plato described our human sense of wonder using an allegory of people in a cave. This allegory sought to embody our nature in respect of education and its lack, and describes prisoners in a cave staring at shadows, tois thaumatapoios, things of wonder. One prisoner in that cave, driven by wonder, rises from his chains and moves toward the light, eventually exiting, being borne from the darkness of the cave, and stepping out into the bright sunlight of the world. Humans are naturally inquisitive. We want to know. This sense of wonder, most readily seen in young people, is an earmark of the rational mind, the mind that sees ratio, or order, and wants to understand how this order operates. Wonder prompts us not only to discover the world, but to discover ourselves. We are prompted by wonder to seek the very source of the shadows, the light that casts the Thauma, and eventually to yearn for eros, a joining with that source. You have made us for yourself, O Lord, wrote St. Augustine, and our hearts are restless until they find their rest in you. Fostering wonder is the primary vehicle of true education. The teacher asks questions that bring their pupils to wonder about the source of their own existence. This must always be done not with an aim toward political success or societal upheaval, but with the goal of helping the pupil extricate himself from the womb and tomb of the cave. The teacher is a midwife, as Plato termed it, to the pupil, helping them give birth to their true self. But on another level, the educator is helping the pupil be born again to a new self, and that involves a change in attitude entirely. Moving a student to the level of asking questions about their existence is a laudable accomplishment of the first order. But it isn't the last accomplishment. The ultimate movement of the student would be to gain a new attitude of childlike wonder about the world around them. A wonder that does not involve any questions at all. The questions, the study, the fever of inquiry leads to this state, but is not this state. Nor is this state of being merely the converting of opinion to knowledge, which Plato does advocate, which so often falls into self-justification and pride. When two people fall in love with each other, they lose their own self-interested self in the ecstasy of being with the one they love. When a mother first gazes upon her child, there is no thought of herself or question about why this would be so. She is merely in a rapture over the child. If we watch children at play, they do not think of themselves in the midst of their play, or even question what they are about in the play. It is merely play. The final self which the student must move toward is, rather, like the Zen pupil, Mahakasyapa, who, when the master raised a single flower, gazed with rapt and overwhelming love and submission to the beauty itself. Blake wrote, "To see the universe in a grain of sand and heaven in a wildflower." That's the ultimate goal. A goal so miraculous that Plato himself could only describe the miracle in the Republic with a joke passage called the nuptial number. All philosophy begins with wonder, the mortal rose and the celestial rose. One could say, however, that all philosophy also ends with wonder, a submission of our particular self-interested self to the unfathomable, inexplicable, ineffable beauty of the numinous. It is to live in that cloud of unknowing, the wondrous fiat of Mary, to be one with l'amor che muove il sole all'altra stella, the love that moves the sun and the other stars.